Hello, everybody, and welcome to That's What I Meant. This is a show where a bunch of comedians answer ridiculous trivia questions given by me, Chris. I'm your host, but you probably don't care too much about that. So let's meet today's players, starting with Lorena.
Hello, everyone. I'm Lorena, and I own 72 pairs of shoes, and all of them have junk on the bottom.
Any good shoe does.
I know.
Let's jump over to Karen.
All right. Hey, guys. My name is Karen. You can also call me Kiki. I will answer to it. I have like 5 pairs of shoes because I pretty much think they're all ugly.
That's astounding to me. I think I have 5 pairs of running shoes alone.
Really? No. I can't ever find shoes that I like. Other than Chuck Taylor's. Favorite shoe.
Do love Chuck Taylor's.
Yeah.
Matt, what about you?
Hello, my name's Matt. I don't always wear shoes. In fact, when my neighbors moved into the house that they live in now, the neighbor house, and they saw my brother and I walking barefoot through the woods, they thought, what are these kids' parents thinking? Until my dad walked over and he was barefoot too. But I do love shoes.
That works. Next we'll meet Nicole.
Hi, I am Nicole, and I wear a 7.5 narrow. So did my grandmother, so I inherited a whole bunch of really sweet shoes from the 50s, 60s, 70s through today.
That's a pretty sweet find. I'm pretty sure my grandpa's foot was a good 4 sizes smaller than my weirdly large feet. Moving over to you, Eric, our last contestant.
Yeah, thanks. I have a size 13 shoe, which is kind of somewhat difficult to find, actually.
That's me too.
Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, clearance section is not our place.
No, we tend to go fast.
You guys should share.
I'm a size 11 in women's, so I think that's why I have a lot of shoes, because whenever I find a cute pair that's in my size, I just buy it, because it's not often that it happens.
Just in case.
Hence the 70 pair. I got it.
73, but I will admit 40 something of those are sandals.
This year.
Right.
Sure, people by now have figured out today's topic is shoes. There's a shoe called the Arini 1. I think I'm saying that right. What is special about this shoe? Why should we care about it?
Because it has 2 Michael Jordan pumps, not 1.
It makes you an extra half-inch taller.
Because it has built-in socks.
I don't know if that's a great idea or a terrible idea.
It's got rice balls in it. No, that's arancini. Never mind.
It's like a built-in hoverboard. Like you can hover with them. Air, some sort of hydraulic system.
You guys are giving a lot of way cooler shoes than the actual answers.
I think it
And more
probably
delicious.
it smells really good instead of rubber.
I'm going to say
Dap is...
Leather shoes smell good.
It's leather, yeah. It's gotta be.
I'd say it's the first shoe in space.
it is not the first shoe in space. You're very close. It's
the first shoe ever.
It is the first leather shoe.
Oh.
Or at the very least, it's the oldest leather shoe that we found. That, disappointingly, the reason it was so well preserved is because it was stored under a pile of sheep dung that probably didn't smell very good.
I have not considered that.
You've never seen my closet. That's kind of what I use.
That's why your shoes are always in such great condition.
I believe it. I believe it, man.
They even smell good.
So this shoe was, I guess when scientists found it, they thought it was 600 years old. It was not 600 years old. It was 5,500 years old.
Holy cow.
By far the oldest shoe that anybody's been able to dig up.
Was it an Oxford or a Brogue?
Shoe.
Right, or...
I suppose it was a derby. I believe it was open laced, if I remember the picture correctly. So we have found older shoes or evidence of older shoes, but they're made out of plant fiber, and who cares about plant fiber?
Lame.
Yeah, seriously.
So it was a big find. It was found on the border of Turkey and something else. I didn't write down the other country, but it was found in Turkey. One last question for the little speed round. Does anybody remember what shoes Marty McFly wore in Back to the Future?
Well, those were the hoverboard ones.
Nike.
They were sneakers, I know.
They were sneakers. They were Nikes.
Yeah.
They were white.
They were white.
Nike mag.
They were high tops of some sort.
They self-fastened.
Nike Mag 6s. I don't know.
I've never seen Back to the Future. So.
What?
Hang up, get out,
Goodbye.
get back to us.
So yeah, they were Nikes. They were white. They had a big red Nike swoosh on them. They were the Nike Bruins. I wouldn't expect anybody to remember that.
No.
Except that in 2015, on October 21st, Nike had a re-release of the of that shoe, because that's the day that Marty got to the future. And let me check. I tagged this a couple of them on eBay, but I wanted to see where the price is at right now. Does anybody have Price is Right rules? What do you think?
$1. $1. Thank you.
$1. All right.
Oh my gosh. What they're selling for?
$15,000.
$15,000.
30,000.
$26,000.
I'll go 6,000.
All right. Bizarrely, Nicole won.
Hey.
Nobody wants them?
They're going for $14.25, which I thought was a lot for a shoe,
Wait,
but I guess
$14 or
no, $1,425. Yeah.
okay.
I thought that was a lot for a pair of shoes, but I
It
guess
is.
with the $17 million shoes. So we all know Neil Armstrong famously took a small step for a man. And when he took that step, he was wearing shoes. And the question is, where are those shoes today?
$1.
One.
Aren't they still on the moon?
They are still on the moon. Do you know why they're still on the moon?
Because they got stuck.
Got sand in them.
Germs?
They got
Coronavirus?
Those germs, yeah. They didn't know what the moon was going to be. And so they were just like, whatever, if you can leave stuff, just leave it so you don't bring any weird contaminants back to Earth.
Fascinating.
But he came back.
He did. I mean, I guess he was in the spacesuit.
And now our germs are all over the moon. Sorry.
Did he really come back? I don't know.
Did he ever really go?
Wow, conspiracy theorist. Actually, Neil Armstrong is actually Tupac.
What?
What if the only two things on the moon were the flag and the boots, because we launched those up in a satellite as a cover
That
story
was so cool.
80 years in the future when somebody else got to the moon and was able to report back? They're like, oh, I guess it was. They really did make it there.
I have some photoshopping to do immediately for my conspiracy site. I'll be right back. I'm back.
Do you know what kind of shoes those were? That are left in the moon?
Bruins, I believe.
Yeah, they're
Nike
Bruins.
Yeah.
I do not know. Moon boots, I guess.
Yeah.
Not the like moon boots.
Not the 1980s version.
Yeah, exactly.
They were Ugg moon boots, actually. Australia.
You'd think that fur wouldn't really be super helpful. You'd want it like hermetically sealed, but they preferred it. So, is anybody familiar with the Roman Emperor Caligula? He's kind of a famous.
I mean,
Heard that name.
he wasn't like a friendly guy.
I imagine.
Sounds like a vegetable.
Yeah, I was gonna say Caligula, not a friendly guy. Killed a lot of Christians. If you ever want to watch a movie that is extremely inappropriate, watch the movie Caligula from the 70s.
I'm busy that day. Can't.
Yep, that's
$1.
I don't watch
heads
it.
up. So what I found out while researching this is that the apparently very famous at the time boots that Roman soldiers were called Caligii. I'm maybe saying that wrong, but it's not a coincidence that that emperor and those shoes have almost the same name. You guys have a guess of who is named after which, or which is named after which,
Like which?
and why that would have happened?
I'll guess it was. Oh, do you know, Matt? Are you sure?
No, I'm not.
Also, I'm not sure. I was gonna guess that it was the guy named after the shoes because his father was a cobbler. Not a delicious dessert, the actual shoemaker.
And he rose up to become emperor.
That would be a Cinderella story if ever there was one, but
Right?
that's correct. His
Speaking of
father was an emperor.
I get it. Cinderella story. I'm with you. Well done.
You're with me before I am. That's good. Work.
I'm going to hazard that the boots were named after the man because, like, there was so much blood and filth in the street. They're like, oh, it's Caligula hour. Slap those boots on. And pretty soon that just like, hey, Caligula's, let's go. and they had to walk through just the human decay with their snappy little boots.
That is a really great rationale and completely wrong.
I think I'm going to go more with it was named after the emperor, but it's kind of the emperor was wearing no clothes. So it actually wasn't even a real shoe, but it was named after him anyway because nobody wanted to get killed.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that the shoes were named after him because he threatened to kill the people if they didn't name the shoe after him. That's what.
So far, you're best capturing Caligula's motivations and actions. What seems about par for him. Lorena, you have a guess?
Okay.
I'm already excited for whatever it is.
So the shoes were named after the guy because he could not find a woman that would want to have his baby. So he took care of shoes and named them after him so his name could live on forever. Right?
Oh, I see.
I think
The shoes are carrying not a son, but a shoe.
Yeah.
Sounds more
He
sensitive than
wanted
I
his family name to go on forever, and he didn't have kids, so he's like, I'll just have a shoe.
Wanted to
that
be like,
shoe became the 7th emperor of Rome. That's not true. Once again, Nicole, you didn't set a super high bar, but you are the closest to correct because everybody else said the shoes were named for the man. So this was a Jordan's situation. In fact, the emperor was named for the shoe, which I think is the only time I've heard of that being the case. You know, usually you're good at a sport and then they name a shoe after you. Not
Sure.
You're a good shoe and somebody names an emperor after you.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why is that when Caligula was a little kid, his dad would bring him to the front lines. And while he was there, the soldiers would dress him up as a small soldier, little like 9-year-old, 10-year-old boy in full Roman emperor. But they had to make special armor and special equipment for him. And so one of those things were these tiny little Caligae boots. And because they put him on him, they started calling him Little Boots, and the moniker stuck. And it just is fascinating to me that as a emperor, you would hang on to that name.
So was this just a nickname?
Yeah.
So he's just like called Lil Boots.
Yeah, basically. It's
Emperor Lil Boots.
if ever you've wondered what it's like to walk on water,
Yeah.
there are some people you could talk to. There's a couple of times. When
So
people,
Jesus and
Jesus is one.
okay, go ahead.
that lizard.
The basilisk.
That fast running lizard. Oh yeah. How's he doing?
The basilisk, you know what? That's a great segue. So basilisk, they run on water, right? So presumably we should be able to run on water if we had flippers on. Turns out some scientists did the math. And how fast do you guys think you'd have to be running in order to continue running on the top of it? So what happens when a basilisk runs, right, is it's running with such speed and such force that when
Doesn't have time.
hits the water, it creates a pillow of air, and then it steps off of the pillow of air before it can collapse under its foot. That's the
Interesting.
physics. How
Not
fast?
even a surface tension.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Is it a speed that is possible for humans?
It is not.
Aha. That opens up all of the
Possible
numbers
in
pretty much
like a-
except for a few.
In a jet.
I'm gonna go with 500 miles an hour.
500. All right, you're
75 miles per hour.
Lorena's closer.
75.
223.
You're way high, Matt. It's lower than you think. I was surprised.
What did you say, Lorena?
No, don't steal my answer.
I'm just trying to get closer. 72.
All right,
36.
36.
Oh.
Karen, you're closest.
Wait.
You don't
Because
have
she asked me. She cheated.
You didn't even tell me the answer. I don't know what you
Like
said.
60.
It's 62 miles per hour, which I thought was, I mean, it's more than twice the human land speed record, so it's not possible, but it seems more in reach.
Based on what shoe size, though, it's all about square inches of foot, right?
And I have narrow feet, I'd go right down.
Right, Blink.
If you're on high heels, you're just going to go straight in. You
Yeah.
have surface area.
That's what I've been doing wrong.
On the topic of walking on water,
Okay.
when year was this? This was in 2019. streetwear brand called Mischief released a pair of shoes that were very popular. And what do you guys think made it such a popular pair of shoes? With the hint, walking on water.
That there were a whole bunch of those water bugs inside that you could see through a window. Like those goldfish platforms from the 40-Year-Old Virgin movie.
Oh, yes.
That's what I'm thinking. It's like a water.
I knew it.
You're kind of on the right track. The fundamental part of your guess is in the right ballpark.
It has water. It's like a hardcore computer where it's cooled by water, so your feet don't overheat.
That's a way cooler idea.
Make those immediately.
Yes.
Make it stinky. But then you'd have yeast, so.
Hey, there you go. Bread.
I'm at a loss for this one. I don't know.
All right, what if I give you, they're regularly referred to as the Jesus shoes.
They're like sandals?
They lace up your leg.
They're not
baptized?
Jesus sandals.
They've baptized these
Shoes.
They're
the Jordan River.
The Air Jordan River.
they were Nike Air Maxes that this company bought. They bought a whole bunch of them, and they have like that air sole, that open air sole, and filled it with water, holy water from the River Jordan.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
There you go.
Here's the whole.
But are there goldfish in there?
No goldfish.
Oh.
But
Jonah Hill can try to buy it. No, sorry.
you're good. This is the description of the shoe. I had to take this whole thing down because it's incredible. So here's the quote that I found online. Mischief continues its biblical reference with a nod to the Vatican, who is known for their intricate jewels in the traditional red shoes. That's the box that the shoe comes in. As a result, the customized pair features red insoles that have been scented with frankincense in reference and include a steel crucifix on the shoelaces. Matthew 14:25 is the inscription on the toe box and an all-round muted water-themed colorway with red accents. Rounding off this godly pair is a shoebox that features a seal that is modified from the official papal seal and an angel on the box, and it is excerpted from Albrecht Durer's 1514 engraving Melancholia 1, which I think we're all intimately familiar with, of course.
Sure.
Anyway, they did all that. Apparently, they said it was a satire of collab culture. I would contend that it is just capitalizing on collab culture. But
I just looked up what Matthew 14:25 is, by the way.
and
Shortly before dawn, Jesus went out to them walking on the lake.
there you go. Makes sense. These guys thought of everything.
Sure did.
Again, my religion to buy those shoes.
So how much are the Mischief shoes?
So those were, any guesses?
14:25. 1,000.
Oh,
Stop.
They sold out within 1 minute. And apparently were immediately listed on eBay for like up to $2,500 or more.
Oh my god.
It's
Because they worked. You could walk on water.
I have a feeling it was for the underground vampire hunting society.
Sure.
Because you roundhouse kick vampires in the
Yeah,
face
there's a
with
movie
holy
in
water
the works,
souls.
I think, for that.
I would watch that movie for sure.
Yeah. Gotta get Tom Hanks somewhere in it. Bring out the mystery.
It's a
Right.
scene for scene remake of Interview with a Vampire, but you switched out Tom's Cruise for Hanks and just introduced more roundhouse kicks. And I'm 100% on board. So naturally, I had to go find a story about a guy who did walk on water. This one is not Jesus, though. This is a man by the name of Charles Oldreeve. He took a bet from a friend saying that he would be able to walk from one place in the U.S. to another place in the U.S. entirely on waterways. What do you guys think that route was? Where do you think he started? Where do you think he ended up?
He could have started in Chicago and ended up in Nolens.
You got the ending right.
Oh.
Wow.
Anywhere connected to the Great Lakes.
Anywhere between the two mountain ranges.
Yeah.
Michigan.
I think he's well. That's the case. He started in the boundary waters.
Ooh.
That would have been sweet. But no, he came from a place famous
Ohio?
for mediocre chili. The mediocre is my
Cleveland.
Cincinnati.
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 Yes.
Oh, Cincinnati. That's macaroni chili, right?
Yeah.
They put it on pasta
Yeah, I
with
don't
unmelted subpar
Yeah.
cheese.
put pasta in chili. That's not chili.
I'm not too offended by the pasta. There are no
Yeah.
beans, right?
No.
There's no beans?
That's nonsense. That's not chili.
That's disgusting.
That's just a sloppy Joe without bread.
It's just like a sauce topping for a hot dog.
yeah, it's
in a
just
bowl.
spaghetti sauce with macaroni and cheese.
That's like a food that's going to happen like after this virus thing people came up with because there's no ingredients available.
Yeah.
And all the new things people are going to be like, oh yeah, with this special food.
I already cook like I'm on an episode of Chopped every night, and now the quarantine is making it worse.
So back on Charles Oldreeve. He
Chuck.
Cincinnati to New Orleans. How long do you guys think it took him? The distance of just about 1,600 miles.
37 days.
37 days.
Far
54 days.
than that.
I don't know how long he was sleeping or.
True.
56 days.
Oh, it's like the $1 right there.
Right?
I'm gonna say he knew what he was doing, and he did it in like 100 hours.
Wow.
That would be very good.
Rocket boosters.
42.
Yeah.
42 days.
42? It was 40. So I think,
So close.
Marina, you won by one. Just
You
barely.
got it. You beat me.
Not in.
I won for one.
You did it. You did it.
Yeah, he did it. So the bet was that he would do it in 40 days. He apparently did it in like 39 days and 55 minutes or so.
Huh.
He sort of got like hung up trying to get to the Mississippi, and then picked up a whole bunch of speed once he got on the Mississippi's current, was able to just kind of like sneak in there. He almost got hit by a steamboat when he was coming into New Orleans.
Oh my God.
It's a truly epic tale of kind of boring stuff.
You could make a movie out of that.
Just walking on.
I feel like someone's probably doing that right now because they're bored. They're like, I'm just going to do it.
But they're quarantined at home, like in a bathtub, trying to do it.
Just trying to do the length just back and forth. And
Yeah,
back.
right?
He started on January 1st, 1907.
Sure.
Now, as natives of the Midwest, I think we're all aware that rivers freeze on January 1st. So I'm highly suspect how those.
He was walking on ice.
Yeah.
That was good. Next question. Do we know how he did it? But
It was his resolution. He needed to
He needed to get going.
glad
right to it.
happened now.
There was a boat right behind him the whole time, making sure that he didn't get off and like get on a horse and ride it or something. Like his wife was on the boat cheering him on as he went, and like there's this whole thing. Made
I
sure.
will not cheer my husband on.
What wife would cheer you on?
So
Eric,
39 days.
that's the.
Eric,
What?
would your wife cheer you on for that?
No, she would kill me. What? What are you doing? Yeah, no, I wouldn't make it to the water.
So I definitely, when I found the story, thought that it was fake until I found a New York Times article that I couldn't read because it's behind a paywall. That did verify that it was at least reported in the New York Times that this thing had happened. And then as I started digging a little bit more, and so this guy was like, well, if people like seeing people walk, I bet they'd love to see people walk on water. So he invented these like boat shoes, and he started going around like making money doing this as like a kind of like side gig or whatever. But there's a bunch of super weird stories, including this one, which happened when he was walking around in the harbor in Havana down in Cuba. And Sorry, this is after this. So he went to Havana. He walked around in the harbor. While in the harbor, he got attacked by a shark. Was pretty severely wounded, but they were able to get him out of the water. He got out fine. And then this is what happened after that. After some time on crutches, Oldreive recovered, and in the winter of 1897 announced that he'd be walking across the Atlantic from Boston to Havre, then up the Seine to Paris. The trip would begin on July 4th, 1898, and his friend C.A. Andrews would accompany him in a small canvas boat that could be folded into a 3-foot by 3-foot square and carried under the arm. According to Oldreive, the going would be easy since he could glide down the sides of steep ocean swells and he could sleep and eat aboard Andrew's tiny skiff. By July, however, the Spanish-American War had broken out and the newspapers were trumpeting the dangers posed by the Spanish Navy, so the trip never took place.
Saved by the war.
Oh, darn.
God.
There's
Do you really think
so
a bunch
many-
of guys would try to shoot a guy walking on water?
Yeah.
That guy has to have a really good trust fund to be able to make that like the thing he's going to do with his
Yeah,
daytime.
seriously.
There's a lot of questions posed by that one paragraph of information.
Yes.
There is...
He was going to have.
Yes, he's going to walk from Boston to France.
Oh, I thought that was like Havana again. I was like, you said it funny.
I think it's Havre, Havre.
Havre.
Yeah.
Havre.
Oh,
Yeah. Something like that.
It's beautiful, beautiful.
going to some place that I think maybe has a cheese named after it.
Mm.
I have a hard time walking straight at the mall, so I don't know how you make it to another country across the ocean.
Right.
Same.
The swells, man. You can just
Also,
ride those.
What I didn't understand is why was his friend accompanying him in a 3-foot in a boat that folded into a 3-foot by 3-foot square? One, why did he have such a tiny boat to cross the ocean?
And why do you have to fold it up if you're on the ocean?
Wait, was he gonna like just in case you want to go for a swim and fold the boat up?
I got it.
Well, that's it for shoe trivia. I hope you guys feel well equipped with knowledge.
Well heels as well.
Yes.
I'll never walk the same.
No. Never.
Which is probably better for you the way you walk in the malls, apparently.
Hey, don't rub it in.
Maybe I'll go buy some shoes now. Maybe.
And the winner is Lorena. Thank you.
All right. Well, Lorena called it. She's the winner. So
Oh, is that how we're doing this now?
Prize is $1.
You guys can Venmo me at brainwins.com.
That's how Venmo works. Yes, that's right.
Well, thank you guys for joining, and I guess we'll see you next week. Feel free if you're watching this video in the future. Leave a comment about what you'd like to see us talk about in the future. We're lazy. We don't like coming up with topics on our own, and we'd like to talk about what you'd like to talk about. So,
Yes.
throw us that. Throw us your favorite shoe trivia. Don't throw a shoe at us, please. Those hurt. And
Hashtag George Bush.
we'll catch you next time.